Good evening and welcome to the Whaler Guys. I'm Jerry Irwin along with Peter Hindle. Another warm day here in Hartford. We're just waiting for hockey season to start. And, you know, tonight we're going to go over UConn Huskies, 2016-2017, or 2017-2018 season.
Yeah, it gets underway October 21st. This is the fourth season at the XL Center, the fourth season of a 5-year contract, which is very key, of course, as you all know, because, you know, after next season, the contract at the XL expires, and if the work isn't further long enough, UConn has to make a decision maybe not to stay at the XL Center. There is, they did sign, we learned a couple years ago, of a 20-year lease that's on the table, but it's based on how much XL Center work gets done. Of course, they got the ice sheet done this summer, and they're doing the boards and the dashers now. So, you know, that's an upgrade for UConn. And, you know, of course, you want to keep them downtown for sure. I mean, we've had some incredible record-breaking attendances for single games in Hockey East.
And we have, and we forget to mention the new fan zone behind one of the goals this year will be debuted this hockey season.
Right.
So that should be a lot of fun to take a look at the creative work they've done in the XL Center. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You know, Michael Freemuth, Chris Lawrence, the whole crew who oversees the XL Center. This will be a new debut. A couple of years ago was the big bar that the governor had the idea to put in, which is great. You know, it has seen a lot of traffic up there. We go up there, we can meet our friends, talk to some hockey people up there. It's a nice vantage point to see the game and kind of relax a bit.
Yeah, it's a good headquarters for the game. I mean, you know, everybody kind of meets there, or say, "I'll meet you at the fan bar," this and that. I mean, it moves some beer out of there too.
It does.
For sure. UConn, the attendance has been great, and the people that watch love to have a bear.
Now, we have to also remind people there are new vendors at the XL Center this year. Jamie and Bear's Smokehouse will have more of a kiosk setting, where now you're going to have USS Chowder Pot in there. You're also going to have Ted's Steamed Cheeseburgers.
Yeah, that's something else. That's a place in Meriden. Been around a long time.
Yes, it has.
It's incredible. You know, they just steam the whole burger there, and it is mouth-watering stuff.
We had it at the charity event up in where is it, Torrington or Winstead? Winstead.
Yeah, Winstead. At Burger Pond Hockey Tournament, they had the Ted Cheeseburgers. You know, food truck there, along with you know, they had some coffee and some things there. That was good. I did not get one that day, and I kind of regret it. But we'll probably be there this year. Yeah,
this year again.
When we go up there and put on our skates once a year,
and
like
help
we always
Chris
do.
and Chris Parsons with Chris Sheffield. Chris Sheffield with the Berger family camp up there, and they were able to send 3 to 4 young people to camp for the summer based on the charity work that Chris and the Berger family put together for that hockey tournament. That was a lot of fun. It was a warmer day in February.
Oh my gosh!
We were kind of concerned about the ice getting a little slushy there.
He does it smart. He does it between the Super Bowl and the. So the week off, there's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, and it's the week between he does, which is smart because, you know, no one's staying home to watch the game. We had a great time, and we got lucky because it was a little bit warmer, and they had it, you know, they said, oh, the ice is like 8 inches thick, and then after a couple of days, it was, oh, well, it's only 5 inches thick, but we think it's good. And they're like, don't skate over there.
Yeah, right.
Don't skate, and I was going to abide by that. So, yeah.
It was a great time, and it was great to see the young kids out there. I saw a lot of friends that now have kids growing up in the youth hockey groups, and it was fun. And you know, it's funny because you see the hockey moms, the hockey dads, and you know, they're warriors when it comes to getting up at the crack of dawn, get these kids to the rink, and
we were there early.
It was a lot of fun. You know, so the XL Center's having the new fan zone, which is down behind one of the nets, and as well as some new food vendors, which I hope you guys enjoy. I know that the Chowder Pot can always have some good chowder.
Chowder.
And you can have one of those cheeseburgers there.
Oh yeah, you got it right. And I'll tell you, that's what's great about it is finally, you know, after a long time, the XL Center was pretty much like a corporate space. In other words, it was like, you know, the big companies with food and drink. There wasn't anything. Any of the culture of Connecticut or the greater Hartford area. Now you do. You got Bears, and you got the steamed cheeseburgers and the Chowder Pot. These are things that are exclusive to the Hartford area. And it's great to have that in the arena for once, because for years it was just, you get your chicken tenders or whatever.
Yeah.
Something pretty generic that you can get at any arena. But these are specific things that you can only get there. And I think they're kind of taking a hint from the Yard Goats, because the Yard Goats have done a good job with that.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah. And they're still doing well. Yard Goats, with tons of double-digit sellouts, and
they won today 5-4 at a 12 o'clock noon game against the Trenton Thunder. And I think Aaron Hicks for the Yankees is on a rehab assignment. He hit a grand slam last night.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Wow. How about that?
Yep. So
things working well.
The game got away from them last night, but today they came up with a victory, and we wish Dean and Tim over there continued success. It's a great product. A fantastic arena, or ballpark to see a game. So, I think when we get into, we only have a couple months left, to get ready for hockey season. I'm really starting to get itchy. I want to see some hockey. And the Wolfpack today listed 2 preseason games. The 28th will be at Trinity College at the Copel Family Community Center ice rink, and it's a $5 donation. Which benefits the Ryan Gordon and Hartford Wolfpack Community Fund. So go and spend $5 and see how the team's looking. And then on the 30th, they're up in Worcester, and they'll be playing where the Worcester Railers of the ECHL, that's their home. They'll be playing, and that's a 7 o'clock face-off up in Worcester if you choose to drive up to Worcester. But you have the 28th, which is home here at Trinity. And I believe that's a 7 o'clock start as well. And that's $5 donation. So I would encourage people to go out, see what the team looks like. Peter and I will try to make it. We'll see what's going on.
Right.
As long as it's not a Wednesday, because we're here with you on Wednesdays. We don't want to get anyone pissed off out there.
That'll be interesting to see how the ECHL does in Worcester, too. They got the Railers. They had lost the Sharks. Probably it was 2-3 seasons ago. They lost the Worcester Sharks, which were, they went out, now they're the Barracudas, but they play actually in the same arena as the San Jose Sharks play.
Oh, neat.
That's kind of cool. But anyway, they had lost hockey, and now they have an ECHL team. I have to see how that works. I mean, it's it's a pretty good hockey market. Worcester is the second biggest city in New England. You're talking square footage here. Hartford, is only 17 square miles. So, but we'll have to see how that goes. But looking forward to UConn this season, we've talked a lot about 2014, 2015, the opening season. Now they're up to 15 games a year, and they play 10 games Hockey East matchups. Those are the ones that seem to draw the most people and get people going. Of course, you also have the teams travel well. Of course, you get BU and BC and Merrimack, and so you get a good grouping of opposing fans.
Amazing how well some teams travel, because sometimes UConn's here an hour from campus, and sometimes they show like they must have driven 5 hours to get to the rink, because sometimes they're just not. The air's not in them. But last year, like we said on the last show, Northeastern took care of them pretty quickly. And you have some stats for especially when you get to the head-to-head with these Hockey East teams. You have, and I think you corrected me last week, because I thought they at least had one win against Northeastern, but that was not the case at all.
These are games at the Excel Center. So, they have Northeastern. They've played them 6 times. They're 0-6-0.
Wow.
With 5 goals factored and 31 goals against. I mean, they just get blown out by Northeastern. That's a trend now that's been going on for 3 years. That's 2 games every year. So, you gotta you gotta think that
you gotta right the ship
point,
here.
At some point they're gonna turn that around. Now, ironically, one of their better records is against UMass. This is of course UMass. They're 3-2-1 with 18 goals factored and 15 goals against. Now that's UMass Amherst, who typically
they were at the bottom.
Yeah,
they were 12th.
They won 5 games last year, so they're not really that good. But UMass Lowell is always a contender, and they play very well. And they also have a great record against UMass Lowell, better than against Amherst. Are you ready for this? This is UConn against UMass Lowell. They're 4-1-1. 17 goals factored and 14 goals against. To be 4-1-1 against UMass Lowell.
And they won the whole thing last year.
So, I mean, there you go. But, they do have their hurts. They don't play well against Merrimack. They always, I don't know if you remember this, but they always tie Merrimack. So here we are, 1-1-4 with 11 goals factored and 11 goals against. So, they definitely could do better there. They do fairly well against New Hampshire, against the Cats, right? Cougars?
Yeah.
Or something. I forget. Anyway, the New Hampshire, I want to say Fisher Cats, but that's the baseball team. But anyway, one of those creatures in the woodlands. Anyway, but they're 4-2-0. UConn's 4-2-0 with 20 goals factored and 19 goals against. That's a pretty good job for, New Hampshire's a tough team. They're enough. And the other team that really kills UConn is Providence. UConn is 0-5-1 with 9 goals factored and 27 against. That's terrible. I mean, that's like every game you lose in 3-1. So that's bad.
And Providence ended up 22-5 last year, so they had a pretty good season.
Yeah, and they do have a rough time. UConn has a rough time with Vermont.
I'm sorry, 22-12 they were.
That's right.
Yeah.
Vermont is UConn is 2-4-0 against Vermont, 13 goals factored and 15 goals against. So, and then of course the BC-BU are the big ones. Unfortunately, UConn only has one win against BC at home, and of course it was the first game ever where they beat them 1-0. They did tie them once at the XL Center, so they're UConn against Boston College is 1-4-1 with 10 goals factored and 18 goals against. Now for BU, a little bit better. They've had some success with BU, especially on the road. We talked about that 4-0 game that Huska had. So against against BU, Boston University. 2-3-1 with 18 goals factored and 17 goals assists. So they're even above water on the goals factored. Yeah, that's good, yeah. Those are pretty good. Of course, Maine, they do pretty well against that 3-1-2.
They lost at Fenway, though.
Yeah, they did lose. They lost badly at Fenway.
They got
4-0. That was not good at all.
No.
But they did beat them. And this game, I should mention, not every game is at the XL Center because last year, if you remember, they played Maine and Bridgeport.
Because they had 3 neutral, I thought, last year.
Yeah, and they had Fenway. They had a game at Fenway. And also the year before, they also had a game in Bridgeport. So, but overall, you could see that they're kind of keeping their head above water against a certain number of teams, and some impressive wins against teams that have quite prestige in the league. I mean, to be able to hang your head with UMass Lowell and New Hampshire, that's pretty good. So we're hoping that continues. This will be their 4th season, so you add another couple games. Last year we talked about that UConn finished 9th in the conference. We definitely need to get in that top 8.
And Vermont finished 6th.
Yeah.
So when you look at Vermont, and you said they were 2-4-1 with them, I think.
Yeah.
That's a team that I think they can beat. They were not out of those games. There was one game where they just lost it in the 3rd period, and we were off camera. We were looking at where the most amount of goals against them are, and it ends up being a 3rd period, only by about 3 from the 2nd period. They have 19 in the 2nd period giving up and 22 in the 3rd. So, when you look at, they need to, it's kind of like certain baseball teams. You gotta get that reliever in there to close out the game, And it's no disrespect to the goaltenders because it's more the defense that are letting them down that end of the ice. We lost Rob Nichols, like we talked about.
Yeah.
And we also lost
Evan Richardson.
Yep, and Kunis we lost.
Yeah. Brian Morgan, also a defenseman who I believe transferred from Maine for his senior year. And, of course, they also lost Tage Thompson, we have to mention, who had 32 points and 19 goals last year. Obviously, when we talk about the power play, I think you mentioned that UConn was 5th in the conference in power play.
Yes, they were.
A lot of that was a heavy lifting that he did.
Yes.
And that was big. And it's time for him to go on to the NHL. He's with I think he's still with the Chicago Wolves at this point.
Yes, he is.
But maybe he'll get his shot playing for St. Louis.
But he got an opportunity to play some games at the end of the season last year, which was great.
Right, because St. Louis didn't make the playoffs, right?
So the worst, no. Yeah. So they did.
They did.
St. Louis did. Sure, they went deep. But to have a couple games under his belt before the end of the season is great because now he's going in and knowing kind of who's on the team from last year, and he's not going in just cold.
Right.
We also did you talk about Richardson leaving?
Yeah, Evan Richardson.
Yep, Richardson, Morgan.
He was, I think their 3rd, wasn't he their 3rd best scorer, Evan Richardson?
Yep. Kunis, who's a defenseman, and Rob Nichols. Remember, about halfway through the season last year, we picked up Philip Nyberg, who's he's going to be a sophomore this year. He's a defenseman.
Right.
And, he got involved a little bit. Now with a full season and figuring out where he's going to be playing and who he's going to be paired up with on defense will be interesting to see. He's from Sweden. Yeah. So, again, I'm looking forward to the UConn season, and they signed, or they have 5 new players coming in as freshmen this year. And one's a Connecticut connection, right from Ridgefield, Connecticut. You have Adam Karashik, who's a freshman defenseman. And, you know, he played last year for the Chicago Steel, captured and helped them capture the Clark Cup championship. He played 52 games for the Steel and ended the season with 9 points, 2 goals, and 7 assists. He finished with a plus 14 rating for the season, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
The other ones are Brian Regali, who's a freshman forward from Libertyville, Illinois. He played in the USHL with the Sioux City Musketeers. And he did all right. 6th on the club in scoring, 30 points in 59 games. He scored 10 goals and assisted on 20 with a plus 23 rating. So that's pretty impressive. He played for the Springfield Junior Blues as well. And then you have freshman forward from Glenville, Illinois, Robbins. And he had 40 points on 17 goals, 23 assists. Pretty impressive, I must say.
Yeah.
And that was 59 games. He had 7 goals, 10 assists. And then Bradley Stone, who's a freshman goaltender from London, England.
Wow.
He played for the Boston Junior Bruins. So, you know, he had a 4-0 with a 1.97 goals against average and a 9.938 save percentage, helping the team to advance to the finals of the USPHL Deneen Cup.
Wow.
Good old Deneen.
That.
He played for the Flyers.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So the Philadelphia Junior Flyers, and he did quite well. And when you look back at Karashik, he actually was over at Avon Old Farms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he went to school at Avon Old Farms and did pretty well there. He played collecting 29 points, 3 goals, 26 assists.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
So it's going to be great to get some freshmen, first-year students in.
Yeah.
So it's neat, you know.
Yeah, their roster is relatively young. I mean, you lose, you know, like they lost about 4 players or so like that. That's not too much of an impact. You look at most of their roster; there's a lot of sophomores, juniors. You know, Spencer Noss is going to be a senior this year. He's been another good goal scorer for UConn. But you know, you'll have to see if they need to get above that 9th spot in the conference. You know, attendance-wise, of course, they're always you know, in a much better shape. Now these are games from last year, the 2016-2017 season. The 63,000 fans, 63,506 fans, for an average of 4,536 people a game. Let's see, the high was Vermont, 6,297. The low game last year at the XL Center was against Alabama Huntsville. The Chargers came in. That was the first game of the season. Also a non-conference matchup, and they drew 3,122. So numbers are down a little bit, but of course they've been kind of a little bit down throughout the conference. When we look at, you know, if you look at the real great stat is 29 XL Center Hockey East home games. So 29 games, Hockey East home games, 162,000 people, 693 fans, and an average of 5,610. So that's 5,610 people for these Hockey East games, which is second in the conference in the last 3 seasons.
That's excellent.
Which is, you know, of course, just behind UMass Lowell. But those are great numbers, and you know, we kind of have seen, you know, 2014, 2015. You know, they were averaging a little over 6,000 a game. Then it, you know, lost a couple hundred in the second season. And last year in Hockey East games, they drew 5,000. Let's see, it was
5,310.
Yeah, something like that. It was a little over 5,000 people, and so they're still drawing, you know, well enough for the conference. You know, it's just, can they get those wins? Because, you know, what did we say, they finished 12 and 16 last year? So, you know, got to get above the 500 mark. You got to find a way to do that.
And you know, obviously, you know, Coach Cav is going to talk about his team going game by game, but, you know, the people of Hartford going into those games really want to see them get into the playoffs and really make a name for themselves. And I think with 5 new freshmen coming in, adding some more energy, obviously Huska is going to be the starter. Right. And then the goaltender that's coming in from England as a freshman is going to be thrown right into the fire. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. Last year, we had Derek Pratt as the captain. We're going to have to see where that happens this year. No, he's a junior. He'll be a senior this year. So he'll be sticking around. Hopefully he'll continue to be captain. Masonis, he signed with a team last. I didn't see who that was. Last year, he signed also at the same time Tage Thompson is. So Masonis was another one who, and then Maxim Latenov is property of the St. Louis Sharks. So he's coming up. He's coming up now on his junior season coming up. So we'll have to see if he goes in the draft this year.
Yeah,
so it's going to be really neat to see how things pan out. A couple stats that are interesting is their scoring offense. When you look at Hockey East, UConn is 11 out of 12 teams with 55 goals, which is 2.5 a game. You need more goals to win games, obviously. Defense-wise, they're about the middle of the pack. They're 7th out of 12.
Right.
And they're at 61 goals against at 2.77. Yeah. The big concern last year, listening to the radio and some of the play-by-play with Jody Ambrosio, Bob Joyce, and Rich Coppola, was the power play. And their power play, minutes-wise, they ended up being 5th out of 12. So, you know, they were 15 for 89, 2 shorties, and 16.9 power play percentage. So, so it could be better. There was improvement over the previous year. So, you know, when the team gets going again, we'll have to see how that power play and who's going to be on what line this year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to mix it up a little bit.
I mean, for a while there, you remember they changed Thompson. Was on the same line as Latunov. Then he went to a separate line because he was carrying them as a centerman there.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, Huska just played out of his mind, you know, most of those games. And they also, you know, you got to think he's going to improve on that now. So
the other one I like to see step up, and he had I thought he had a good year last year, was Carl Elmire. I thought. I liked what I saw last year. He ended up 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points. And, you know, there was he seems like a pretty exciting player.
He's got Pat Verbeek's number there, so he's kind of a scrappy guy. He does, you know, helps out with the special teams on the.
And Corey Ronan on number 11. He is going into his senior year, and he had 4 goals. He had 4 goals, 8 assists, and 12 points.
And some big ones.
But always in someone, you know, forechecking.
It's great to have you know, that special teams guy. You always need that scrappy guy to help you kill penalties or to, you know, help you defend the zone. Like I said, we'll just have to see how it all plays out. You know, this has been great to have Hockey East in downtown Hartford. It is. This year, in just a month, the campus opens. The Hartford Times building which is I can't remember what street it's on now, but anyway, the Hartford Times campus is right behind Center Street.
Front Street.
Front Street. I'm sorry, Front Street. And you know, that new campus feeling. So now you can even have students because it's going to be.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, a bunch of students are going to be living downtown. There's a new dorm. There's lots of course, we've talked endless about the residential options in Hartford that have developed through the CRDA. So you'll see hopefully more of a young UConn crowd at these games, and I think that's the whole point of you know, keeping this Excel Center going and new ice and everything like that, is because hopefully you're going to attract a lot of new people. So
sure. Well, it's awesome talking hockey, and we're going to wrap it up. UConn this week, we're going to head with the Wolfpack next week and talk about where they're headed. And like I said, you got a couple preseason games coming up on the 28th and 30th of September. Again, until we catch you next time, we are the Whaler guys. You guys are the Brigade. We're one nation under green, and let's play some hockey. Have a great night, everyone.